How's everyone doing today? This is Chopping It Up Hardcore with Hal Capone, discussion number 78. Today, my special guest is Kip Uhlhorn of the underrated, super great band, The Red Scare, from the late 90s, early 2000s. He was also in one of my other favorite bands, Panthers. Super stoked to talk to him. He's got Cloudland Canyon going on right now. I don't know much about that project, so I can't wait to get in there and talk to him about that too. Forgive me for being not so knowledgeable on that project, but hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's safe. I know the world is going to shit right now, so prayers to the Ukrainian people. It's fucking crazy, man. But like I said, I hope everybody's well. And can't wait to talk to Kip. Should be super fun. Had a little snowstorm the other day, but not too bad. So hopefully, I'm waiting for spring to come. I don't know if Kip has done one of these, so we'll be waiting for him. Hopefully he jumps on soon. Wednesday, I'm talking to Paul Burdett. His Hero Gone, Tragedy, Death Threat. Like, that should be, Tragedy and His Hero Gone is by far some of my favorite shit ever. So, I'm super stoked on that. Super pumped. So, it's kind of a weird Wednesday night, but, that's how I had to do it. So hopefully he'll be joining me in a couple seconds. Frankie, what's going on, man? Spirit's coming off pretty soon. I think one more month and it's gone. My daughter's friend asked if if I was a cool biker guy. So I don't know. Tony, what's up, brother? Should be on any second. Parking lot pimping again. My daughters are just started February vacation, so they have a few friends over. It gets a little wild. Yeah, chilling. Me too. I don't want to go to work tomorrow, honestly. But and sometimes my Wi-Fi is fucking wonky at my house, even when nobody's there. I don't know what it is. So sometimes this works better. I'm going to try my house on Wednesday night, though, with Paul. Just waiting on Kip. I don't know which one I don't know if he's going to jump on with Red Scare or his own or Cloudland Canyon. But like I said, should be on any second. Hopefully everything works right. I'm if he doesn't come on in a couple minutes, I'll jump off, see if he messaged me. Sometimes, first time doing Instagram Live, they can't, it's a little confusing sometimes. But I'll give him 2 more minutes and then I'll jump off and jump back on again and see if I can find him. Yeah, some of my favorite shit. I love the Red Scare. Panthers is so underrated too. A lot of people hated on them, thinking it was going to be the Red Scare Orchid sounding stuff, but I always enjoyed everything Panthers did. I got to see them a couple times in Connecticut. I never saw the Red Scare, which is, I'm kicking myself in the ass for that, because like I said, this is something super special to me. First time I heard it, or the Orchid the Red Scare split. Frankie, I still got to get you on here. I've just been jumbling around schedules and shit like that. Oh, here we go.
See if this works. I sent an invite to you, Kip. See if it's working.
What's up?
What's going on?
How's it going?
Good, good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, perfect.
I was trying to figure it out on my computer and then I couldn't.
Yeah, I think it's like easier on your phone. I don't know if you're using your phone now, but sometimes the computer doesn't work right connecting.
Yeah. No, we're good. Hold on, let me get. I'm like a boomer with this technology right now.
I want to thank you so much for taking time out on a Sunday to chat with me about, back in the day and what you got going on now. I really appreciate it. Thank you for
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Usually when I first start out, I usually ask, what got you into punk and hardcore first and foremost? And the second part, I guess, is what were you listening to before punk and hardcore as a kid?
Well, a lot of different stuff before, but I probably like either shoegaze or like stuff that was tangential to the Smiths or exactly the Smiths. Trying to think. Yeah, REM, a lot of British music. I loved that band, Teenage Fan Club. Yeah, I'm not good at these kind of questions because I always forget, but and then I'm trying to, as far as what got me into it, I guess honestly, like Minor Threat was really the thing that kind of flipped the switch, and I probably heard Fugazi before that.
Yeah.
So
Now at that time, were you when you found Minor Threat, were you straight edge at that point? Because I know a lot of people once they heard Minor Threat or Earth Crisis or stuff like that, it kind of
Earth Crisis.
got them.
No, I wasn't. I didn't drink or do anything like that till later. It was kind of like a late bloomer in that sense. So I mean, I guess kind of by default, I was straight edge.
Yeah.
The reason I'm laughing is because this guy in town, kind of this guy that was like a straight edge scene king in Memphis, sort of recruited me and a couple other people that I was in a band with at the time to be in his straight edge band. So he he kind of demanded that we say that we were straight edge for a time.
Yeah.
That was a very short-lived project, but yeah.
Now is that?
With,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I hadn't thought about this in forever, but it was called Withdrawn X.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was probably 15.
Now, did you put a demo out with that band at all, or is that on the internet that anybody could listen to?
God, I hope not. I hope not. I don't think there was. I don't think there was, honestly. If there is, I don't know about it. And if there is, it was probably recorded with like a jam box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what first made you pick up the guitar? Was that something you always wanted to do as a kid, or did you try another instrument before guitar?
My mom taught piano, so I kind of played a little piano. But when I was like 13, my brother got a guitar for Christmas that he just never ended up messing with. So I just kind of, over the course of a couple of years, sort of taught myself to play it.
And
yeah.
What was the first band that you started that you played out shows in?
It was this band called Superstar that was kind of, well, let me put it this way. It started kind of as like pop punk, and then it got to a point where we were supposed to do a split with Christie Front Drive, if you remember that band.
Yep.
So it was kind of like that, I guess. Very, very sad man lyrics. And then we all, but just because we were so young, found like reasons to get angry at each other and split up very, very acrimoniously.
Now,
So,
where were you brought up? Where were you brought up and born? Like, where were you raised? Where were you born?
in Memphis,
In Memphis.
just like a suburb outside. So, yeah, yeah. I don't know if I would recommend that or not.
So when the Red Scare started,
Mhm.
the story I read was you guys were all going to college.
Yeah.
And how did that kind of get together? How did you form the Red Scare?
Okay. So I just mentioned I was in that band Superstar. So I was in this other band that after Superstar broke up, and we went to play a show in Knoxville and saw this band called I forget what they were called, New Guard 843, something like that.
Yeah.
And they had the drummer for the Red Scare in it. And I knew that I was going to college at Knoxville the following year. So this guy that was playing drums was just like a fucking maniac. Like, I mean, just really was like the best drummer I'd ever seen. So I think I just like after the show was like, hey, we're gonna be in a band next year, and he was just like cool. So and really and the crazy thing about that was he had never played drums before the show that I saw him at. Like
Really?
It was just something he was messing around with. Yeah, he's crazy. His drumming ability is still like a mystery to me, and I don't think he's really played after the Red Scare. I don't really think he played drums in anything else.
Wow.
It was just kind of like a one-time thing. Yeah.
It's too bad because I mean the drumming is amazing in the Red Scare.
I know it's hard to believe that I don't know. It's hard to believe that he picked it up so quickly. So yeah,
And
it's really unusual.
Now, how did the other members kind of mesh in?
So our original other guitar player was just like my best friend from childhood. This guy Adam Ewing, and he was already going to school at Knoxville and had some classes with Abby, our bass player. So he just kind of introduced us all. Matt, our drummer, and Abby ended up being in a relationship for most of the time that we were a band. And then about a year after we got together, Adam had to quit just because of like academic concerns. And we replaced him with this guy, John Asher. John was the first person to, like, I guess it was our second show. He asked us if he could put out a record for us. And he was the first person to put out a 7-inch. He had this label called Parology with this guy, Mark Telfian, that was in Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And Eucharist and a couple other bands. Limperist. So yeah, he was just like we needed a guitar player in short notice, and he was the person that made the most sense. So yeah, and it stayed that way.
And how was the Knoxville scene back then? Like, can you talk about how it was back then?
Really awesome. Like in Memphis, things are more like either garage rock, at least at the time, or like kind of man metal hardcore.
Yeah.
Well, that's not exactly true. Like in Memphis, there was Cop Out and His Hero's Gone, both of which were awesome. But Knoxville was more kind of like arty, just because like the Red Scare or the University of Tennessee has a big art program. So in a way, like I feel like the person that was pushing for more like hardcore stuff, honestly, was probably me, and then the rest of the band was probably into stuff that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do initially, but kind of worked out for the better in the long
Yeah.
run.
Is that kind of how you guys got your sound?
Yeah, because so our bass player and drummer were really into like stuff like shellac or just like AMRAP stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you can kind of tell that, but I feel like that ended up just like at the time, I was probably like at least initially, I would probably be like trying to talk them out of stuff like that, and I feel like in the end, it's a blessing that they were into that, just because I feel like the music is way better for it. So, um, yeah, they're into weird time signatures and like the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, were you going to shows, you know, a lot before the Red Scare? You know, did you kind of get any influences personally for yourself before starting the band, like going to shows here and there from Memphis to Knoxville or whatever?
Let's see. You know, I think that when right, well, I'll put it this way. Right before I moved, I mean, I liked all of like the Gravity Records kind of stuff
Yeah.
before moving to Knoxville, and Born Against, stuff like that. I feel like that was like the main thing that I liked.
Yeah.
But I think I saw 400 Years in Sleepy Time Trio right before, like on a tour right before I moved to Knoxville.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm reading alerts for my son's soccer team. Um, so I think that maybe that kind of flipped a switch. Like the songwriting with that stuff seemed like you could really condense really interesting songwriting that wasn't just like wild abandoned. Not like I love that too, but it
Yeah.
kind of combined like things that I liked, like Unwound, with stuff that was like harder, I guess. So
Now,
yeah.
were you always like wanted to sing too or scream? You know, whatever. You know, is that something you wanted to do, or was that kind of something you were
um,
forced to do?
uh, did you say something I was born to do?
No, forced to do.
um, yeah, I get kind of both, I guess. Um, I don't think I really thought about it, and then it just seemed, I think I was like the only person willing to do that. So, yeah, it's such a weird, it's such a weird thing to think about. Like, in a way, I feel like it was probably good for me, just being that age. It's so cathartic.
Yeah.
But, like, I almost wish that I had that outlet now. Um, yeah, I honestly didn't really put a lot of thought into it. It seemed like nobody else was going to do it, and that's what we wanted. So, um, and I think also I sang in the band before that when I met Matt, the drummer.
Yeah.
Um, so I think he just assumed I was going to do that anyway. So,
So speaking of the output you just said,
yeah.
nowadays, would that be something that could be on the table for you, getting into another heavier band where you're, you know, potentially screaming?
God, maybe. I'm playing in this band actually. Like, I mean, I'm still doing my thing, Cloudland Canyon.
Yeah.
But and I actually am just now finishing a record with that. But I'm also playing in this band called Catholic School that definitely incorporates a little screaming live. It's not me doing the screaming, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I feel like if I'm probably more open to stuff like that now than I have been in the past 20 years, for sure.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the first tours that kind of happened with the Red Scare.
Mm.
There was a tour with, was it Mile Marker, Orchid,
Yeah.
and Hail Mary? Was that the first tour that you guys did?
I don't think that was the first. I heard that somewhere, but I'm trying to think what the first one was. I th I think the first one we did may have kind of been by accident with Party Helicopters. Like we didn't even know them, and I'm not sure how that even happened. Probably, I think I was just in touch with Jamie from Party Helicopters, Donut Friends, Earthquaker, Jamie Stillman. So they played in Knoxville, and then we just played like 3 or 4 more shows with them. And I think also, I might be combining things here, but I think this band from Memphis called Stainless came with us, who are really good, kind of underrated. But yeah, and hold on a second. So I think that was our first tour, and that was also where we met 12 Hour Turn, I think. I think we played in Jacksonville that tour.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, somehow really, oh, I know how we hooked up with Mile Marker, because John, our guitar player that ran that label, Parology,
Yeah.
they put out Mile Marker's first couple LPs. So we were just, I think the next time we went on tour, probably like after John took over playing guitar for Adam, I think our next tour was with Mile Marker. Yeah, that's right, actually. And then we met, I think coincidentally, we played with Orchid in Chapel Hill, which is where Mile Marker was from.
Yeah.
So I think our 3 bands played in the basement of Mile Marker's house.
Wow.
And that was before Orchid had their secret weapon, Jeff Garlock, playing with them. Yeah.
Oh, so
Brad
was playing with them at that time?
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. I think we were like spending a lot of time trying to wrap our heads around the fact that they were straight edge or something like that. Or maybe or maybe they were just alarmed at our behavior. I'm not sure. I think that can.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No,
now, is that how you became friends with Jay and Jeff? Not
Yeah.
Jeff, the bass player at that time, but Jay and Jeff.
Yeah.
And Will,
Yeah,
obviously.
So, yeah. I think initially I was like, yeah, that's right. And then Jay and I kind of hit it off, and then also Will was kind of like the band boss, I think. So I think that after we met them there, I think they were on tour of the South, and we were playing with. God, this is actually fun. I haven't thought about this stuff in so long. We were playing in Knoxville with the Locust and Jenny Piccolo.
Ooh.
I might be wrong about that. Anyway, there was some show in Knoxville, and Will just called me and asked me if they could also be on it. Yeah. And then, coincidentally, our friend Brian Redinger was doing a record for Orchid on his label, Handheld Heart, like a 7-inch.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a confluence of a bunch of different things, circumstance. So he just asked if we wanted to do like a split 7-inch with them, and we just kind of got more and more in touch from there.
Yeah. Now those shows that you were talking about with Locust and Jenny Piccolo and Orchid, what were some of the bands that you played with that kind of opened your eyes and you were like, wow, like surprised how great they were back then? Did anybody really stand out to you where you were like, holy shit, this is like I'm witnessing something incredible here?
Huh. Yeah, I'm sure. Orchid was great, obviously. I think all the bands. I think we're really lucky. Just sitting here saying this, it feel like we got really lucky to just play. Like every show that I mentioned seems like it's amazing, right? Maybe that's in retrospect, but trying to think of somebody that I remember seeing. I'm just thinking of things I saw in Knoxville, like not on tour. Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? The VSS at that time, I thought that they were like. I was actually playing. We went and played out of town on Friday. That band Catholic School that I was just
Mhm.
mentioning,
Yep.
and I was playing our singer because he's really into stuff like this. The VSS that came up on shuffle, and I was kind of trying to put that in context for him. For some reason, he missed that one, and I don't know. They're like the first band to have like a light show. Like first band I saw like incorporate synthesizers
Yeah.
into hardcore. Um, Carp was really good. Uh, I could for some reason I kind of think of those two bands together. Um, I've already mentioned like Sleepy Time Trio.
Yeah.
Um, I thought His Hero Is Gone was like one of the best bands of that time period. I mean, that was
Yeah.
just like the heaviest band I could think of.
Yeah. True.
Um,
True.
yeah, I'll think of more in a second, I'm sure.
Yeah. First time I saw His Hero Is Gone was up in Providence, Rhode Island, and
Yeah,
I was blown away. I was like, I couldn't believe it when I saw him. I was like, wow. Because I had heard him
yeah,
before, and then I saw him live, and I was like, oh, God, I need to see him more. But then I didn't get to see him, and then I saw Tragedy a couple times, and
mm,
I was just lucky enough to get to see him once. Because sometimes a lot of people don't go up to the East Coast a lot. And
mm,
back then, you were lucky to hear about it. You know what I mean? there
mm.
wasn't there
Yeah,
wasn't many flyers going around everywhere, so it was like you had to get hearsay on what show was happening and where to go to, and MapQuest wasn't the greatest thing either back in the day because I live in New Hampshire, so I was always trying to go to Boston, Providence, uh,
yeah, yeah,
Connecticut, so it was always
yeah.
a journey.
Did you ever see what was that band from Drop Dead? Weren't they from Providence?
Oh yeah, Drop Dead. I've seen them like a handful of times, probably 6, 7 times.
Yeah, I just remembered I think and Brian Ranger, the Handheld Heart I just mentioned, was really good friends with these people. Gasp, do you remember them?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Yeah, they were that, and also I remember the first time we were in California, we played with Volume 11. They were the people from Honeywell,
yeah,
and that was awesome. That was crazy. But yeah, Gasp, I think everybody in the Red Scare really liked just because they were just like combining kind of psychedelic stuff, like noise collage kind of stuff with just insane hardcore. Yeah.
So what was the first thing that the Red Scare put out? Did you guys have a demo, or was it kind of just like you put on
Yeah.
7-inch?
Yeah.
There was a demo.
Yeah. 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 I think most of it ended up being on our first LP. Oh, we did have one unreleased song from that we just put on like we just put that on this compilation thing on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's not super great, but we our first tour we yeah we totally had a cassette that was in like a silk screened envelope that we sold. Yeah, it probably came with like a patch or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think we just re-recorded most of the songs. Like when we recorded the first LP with that, or both of our LPs with that guy Don Zantera, the Inner Ear guy.
Yeah.
So I think we were just like tried to record as much as we could in the 2 or 3 days that we were there. So I think every one of our songs that were on the demo got re-recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it would be interesting to hear that. I have no idea who has a copy of that, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I
No.
think it. You know what? It was from the same recording session that was just like my basement, that we used for our first 7-inch. So yeah, I think we basically recorded the demo, took the two best ones to put on the 7-inch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing I ever heard was this gem right here that I still have.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
kind of beat up and cracked, and but I
yeah,
still held on to this bad boy.
yeah. I mean, I love both of our records. It was like a dream come true at that time to like record with Don for sure.
Yeah,
Um, I wish we could find. I mean, not that I've really tried, but it'd be nice at some point if we figure out a way to put that stuff out on vinyl again.
yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, Strangers Die Every Day. I had that on CD too, but like I sold all my vinyl when I was
Mm,
younger, and then I got rid of that CD too. But I kept this one because it was like my favorite. But I'm kicking
that's
myself
awesome.
in the ass for like getting rid of all the, because I had the Hail Mary split and the True North split and the Orchid split, and I sold all my vinyl, and I had
Yeah,
both CDs, and like this is the only one that I kept, and I wish I kept everything. Like, so I'm trying to
that's all.
get back my stuff from like Discogs slowly and surely, but like
Yeah,
I said,
I
this
don't.
one stood the test of time.
That's awesome. I'm not even sure. I probably have a copy of that CD somewhere, but yeah, I've moved so many times in the past like 10 years that I need to like try to lay eyes on that stuff at some point.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you that if you kept all the stuff that you released, with Panthers
Yeah,
and Red Scare. Like, I didn't know if you kept all the vinyl and the CDs and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, like 95% of it. I think that there's like a couple things that were um, like especially with Panthers where it was like, um, once we were on Vice and they would put out like little CD samplers and stuff like that, stuff that wasn't super important anyway. But like with the exception of that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure that I have almost everything. There were a couple I know, like we did a split with this band called Pancration on Donut Friends, and there were like tour versions of that and that record that you were just holding up that uh I'm not sure that I have,
Now,
but yeah, I wish.
was that in a Manila envelope type thing with like it was like a sticker on the front of it and it had like the Russian symbol on it. Was that what that looked like? Because I had that back in the day, but I don't remember what that was. It was like a
Which one?
brown. It was like a brown Manila like envelope with the CD in it, and it almost like had a white sticker on the front of it. And I can't think of like what that was. It probably was a tour
Oh,
CD.
okay. Wait, are you talking about CD or vinyl?
CD was on CD.
Oh, the wait, which thing?
I'm not sure what it was because I remember having it and then I
Oh,
sold it to my friend. But I'm trying to think like if you can remember back. It was like in a brown Manila sleeve. It was a CD and it had like a white like sticker all over the front of it that had like I forget what the image was, and then it had the Russian like
huh.
symbol.
I actually don't remember that.
Yeah. I'm like racking my brain trying to figure out what it was. If I can
Yeah.
get a hold of my friend, I'll have him grab it and I'll take a picture of it and send it to you because I
Okay.
can't remember.
Yeah.
But
No, I don't. That doesn't. But I mean, that doesn't mean that me not remembering it doesn't say much.
yeah. Before we get into Panthers, I just wanted to ask lastly about
Mhm.
the last Orchid tour that you did. How was
Yeah.
that? Was there any memorable like shows or experiences you had at
Yeah.
on that tour?
Um. Yeah. I was actually thinking about this the other day. So yeah, that tour was awesome. Just because, I mean, financially impractical, which doesn't really matter at this point, but just because the sheer amount of bands that were on that tour, like one leg of it was True North and Lightning Bolt. Um, it's hard to be on tour with Lightning Bolt, especially
Yeah,
then, just
I can
because
imagine.
yeah, I mean, like playing before or after them is not great.
Yeah.
Um, especially like, and they would just set up their gear like behind the audience while we were playing or whoever was playing, and then just immediately the second it was done, you know,
Start
everybody
playing.
would turn. Yeah. So, and then also the Blood Brothers were on part of that tour, and Song of Zarathustra, who
Wow.
So I feel like Song of Zarathustra doesn't get as much love as they should. But
Right.
there was one. This is the funniest thing. So we played in Bloomington, Indiana, I think. Uh, I'm not sure. I think that was where it was, but it was a skate shop. And Jay and I had set up most of the shows, I think, on that tour. And it was always like a few towns it would be like the Orchid playing and then the Red Scare. But most of the time it was like the Red Scare playing and then Orchid would headline. But and then we would have like at that point in time we had Song of Zarathustra and the Blood Brothers with us. So we showed up to this. I have no idea who this was or what band or anything like that. But showed up to the skate shop, and they were very adamant that not only not only were the Blood Brothers and Song of Zarathustra going to play after the Red Scare, but Red Scare was going to play before the local band also. So, and then also, and I don't know why these guys just fucking hated us. I have
Yeah.
no idea why. There was some type of animosity there.
Yeah.
And then, we had like a woman in our band, so I I wish I could remember what they said, but they said something to her that was not not great. Like it was really shitty
Yeah.
about so we at I don't know. We decided with Orchid that instead of playing for 15 or 20 minutes, however, I don't like, I think most of the time those sets were like 20 minutes maybe,
Yeah.
that we would go to the parking lot before the show and learn every song that we'd ever written, which at this point in time, it was right before we were done being a band. So we probably had like an hour's worth of music. So, and we like played first, and these people were just like fucking yelling at us while we were playing, just telling us to quit. It was awesome. And when we, by the time, and then they had to rearrange it. So I think the local band didn't actually end up getting to play, and it
Yeah.
was just, Song of Zarathustra, Blood Brothers, Orchid. Um, so as far as we were concerned, that was fine with us.
Yeah.
And then when we left, these dudes threw rocks at our van. No, dude, like we were pulling out of the skate shop parking lot, and the people that set up the show were throwing rocks at us. It was awesome.
Wow. No kidding. That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, I wish I was trying to find a flyer for that show somewhere,
Hmm.
but I don't really know how to Google it.
Yeah.
There probably are some interesting details to that I'm leaving out, but that was definitely the first and last time I've had rocks thrown at me.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, especially on tour with Jeff and Jay too. It must have been pretty good. I mean, those guys are pretty funny, and
Yeah.
that tour must have really been something else.
Yeah.
Especially, well, I mean, you went into a band with them, so I mean,
Yeah.
you were surrounded by those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now, what made you move from down there to New York, and kind of the Red Scare kind of broke up? What made you move up there?
Well, I mean, it was kind of a weird move, to be honest with you, because I loved playing in the Red Scare. I can't remember how we. Yeah, I mean, that was like the closest group of friends as far as the band was concerned that I've ever been in.
Yeah.
So, we just all really had a lot of love for one another. So I'm kind of surprised that I moved to New York. I'm not really sure why, because I mean, we had just kind of really hit our stride. I'm sure that there was more that we could have done, but I don't know. I think it seemed like for a hardcore band at that time to like put out more than a couple records just seemed like you were Led Zeppelin or something. So I don't know. My girlfriend at the time wanted to move up there, and I feel like and I had I don't know. I'd visited New York a bunch. Jay was already living there at the time, so um, me and me and Adam and John from the Red Scare, I remember went up there one year at Christmas just to hang out and had a lot of fun. Um, I think I just kind of I don't know. I didn't have a plan for what else I wanted to do. I probably would have moved to California, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I prior to that tour with the Red Scare, I think um, the Red Scare and Orchid, I like the big tour. I think I already knew that I was going to move there just because my girlfriend wanted to, and I think during that tour, um, we just all decided to live together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what basically how Panthers got together, is you living up there and being, near Jay, and
yeah,
how
yeah.
did that kind of happen? Like, what were the talks that you guys wanted? And especially a lot of people, like I said, they were expecting Orchid and the Red Scare sounding music when
Mm,
you first heard Panthers, and then it was something totally different. What was
yeah.
how did you guys get together, and how did you go in that direction?
God, who? I mean, I think that most of our ideas for what the band would sound like when we were on tour involved just like names that were a joke for a band. I mean, I think that's about as far as it got. Um, I think I have no idea. Um, I mean, I think that that was kind of like the good and the bad thing at the beginning is I I probably had very specific ideas about what I would want to do with a band
Yeah.
after the Red Scare, and I think that there was some overlap there with like what Jay and Jeff and wanted to do, but not a ton. So I mean, well, that's not. I mean, there was plenty, but I think that there was a lot of at least the beginning. I think it's fair to say that um, I don't think that. Well, okay, I don't. I was gonna say that I don't think we really hit our stride till we did the Dim Mak EP. Like I feel like we kind of had figured it out by that point. But
Yeah.
the the first LP, um, I don't know. I just don't think we really. I mean, I listened to it recently because it went on Spotify, and it was like the first time I'd listened to it in like 15 years or something.
Yeah.
Um, I really didn't like it at the time, like the first record.
Yeah.
Now I think sounds surprisingly great.
Yeah.
But
Now you're
that's
talking about this. You're talking about this bad boy
yeah,
right here.
yeah, 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 yeah. If you want a good time, go read the Pitchfork review of that record. It's pretty awesome. Jay, I think loves to bring that up as much as
Yeah,
possible.
I talked to Jay about that actually when we talked.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird time because we were surrounded, like friends with bands in New York at that time. Like we played a lot of shows with the IAS and Liars, and then all of that crap was happening in New York. Like we were sharing a practice space
Yeah.
with Animal Collective and Black Dice. So I mean, for me, like I just felt like there's there's the I don't know. There's just like endless possibilities for anything.
Yeah.
And so like it's I think when you're that age, or at least for me, like it's hard to decide. Like I just wanted to do so many different things. So yeah, I mean we never like had a much of a conversation about what we were going to do with Panthers. I
Yeah.
just think uh, yeah, I don't know. Other than like, hey, we both like Black Sabbath and the Stooges or something.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
in the earlier, on in Panthers, you guys were playing with a lot of, hardcore, screamy bands back then too in the beginning
Mhm.
because I remember seeing Panthers in Connecticut. I think
Yeah.
Brian from Day and the Children set up the show. It was Panthers, Hot Cross, Wolves,
Mhm.
Ampere.
Yeah. I remember that. I feel like
Yeah,
we did that same show a few times.
yeah, because I saw you again in Connecticut with was it Donna and Carly and Transistor played that show.
Oh, okay.
I think that was another show that I had seen Panthers down in Connecticut too. So
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like we would. Yeah, we played so many like weekend type, like 2 or 3 date kind of things, and a lot of them were at colleges. I feel like.
do you agree that it was like more hardcore-ish screamo bands in the beginning, and then once
Yeah,
you guys kind of hit your stride, you were playing with more indie bands, indie rock bands?
I get well, sort of, but I mean, like even we did like even after. I don't think that there was like any intention to that. I think we just kind of, um, yeah. I mean, like even when after we had signed to Vice and we had entered kind of like I guess a different world in New York. I mean, we still like went on tour with that band J.R. Ewing for like 5 weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean, I don't think any of us were like trying to like erase the idea of being like a hardcore band. I mean,
yeah,
if anything, it was like nice to kind of be able to exist in both things.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, would you? I always ask this.
Mhm.
Would there ever be the Red Scare reunion,
Oh my God, I have no idea. I think
or Panthers?
yeah, maybe. We got asked to do like I think a Red Scare Orchid thing in LA, and I think I mentioned it to Jeff, and then we just forgot about it, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'd be fun. Either thing, honestly. I mean, it would be nice just to. I mean, I haven't seen Jeff Salaney in so long in Panthers or Jay. I mean, the person that I keep in contact with the most is Jeff. Um, just I don't know why. Just because he and I text more than other people. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it'd be fun.
What would be easier location for you though? Wise the Red Scare would probably work better where you are
God,
at living wise.
I don't know. The one we were actually trying to. Um, so I stay in touch with Matt Hall, the drummer. He's like the head of the architecture program at Auburn,
Hmm.
but he still plays music with his band New Brutalism. I'm sure he'd be down for whatever, just depending on like schedules and whatnot.
Yeah.
And John Asher, uh, he actually owns a synthesizer store in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Um, we could probably talk him into it if something awesome came up. I
Yeah.
think the main problem would be that none of us. We were trying to get in touch with Abby, our bass player, because somebody wanted to put out like a documentary of the footage that she took on one of our tours,
Yeah.
and none of us can get in touch with her. So I don't. Yeah, I mean, if we could get in touch with her, I guess that would be the big hurdle.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, and also I guess there would have to be like the the need or desire for it, right?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a need and a desire for it from a lot of fans. You know what I mean? I would be stoked on it if I saw. I never got to see the Red Scare, and I tried to see
Mhm.
everybody I could back then. It just never happened. Like, did you play a lot of East Coast shows up in like Massachusetts, and did you ever play New Hampshire?
No, I don't think I honestly. Oh wait. Yeah, I think I played in New Hampshire with Panthers, but I think that's the only time. Yeah, so we did. I feel like yeah, we did. And I don't think that the Red Scare Orchid tour, that might have been one of the only places that we didn't go to. Probably just because Orchid played so much up there.
Yeah.
But we did. I remember we did this thing like on spring break one time where we went to Brooklyn to play with Orchid, and then we probably went to like Massachusetts and Connecticut, and Philly. I mean, we were up there a little bit, not like a ton, but I mean, we were only around for like 3 years, really. So,
Yeah.
and which seemed like a long period of time at that point, but it's funny how small of a period that is.
Yeah. Now, I also wanted to ask. I'm not really knowledgeable about Cloudland Canyon. Can you just
Mm,
talk about that and what that project is? And because I didn't really know of it, because
yeah,
I'm kind of always into the hip hop underground, like screamy type of stuff. So can you just talk about that a little bit?
yeah. So that started kind of just as like a fun thing with this guy, uh, like one of my oldest friends, Simon Moyhan, who is in that band King Khan and the Shrines. Um, we kind of just made records for fun, and then somebody wanted to put it out, this label TP. So that was cool, and we did a tour for that. And I honestly was like just kind of like shocked how much people liked it. And then within like a couple years of releasing our first record, we signed to like my favorite label ever, Cranky, in Chicago. Yeah, I don't. Do you know that label?
I do. Yes. Yeah.
So we did a couple records for them, and then my friend, um, who had already released like a split between Cloudland and Lichens, which is Rob Lowe from 90 Day Men, and he also just scored the Candyman soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
So Holy Mountain had released that record, and then had offered me my own label, like imprint through Holy Mountain.
Hmm.
So did the next full length for Holy Mountain. Um, and at that time, Simon was like just too busy with King Khan stuff, so I kind of just continued on my own. And then I mean we've done a ton of stuff. The last record I actually released was I somehow got like my hero, Pete Kimber, Sonic Boom from Spaceman 3. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, but he came over from England and produced the last Cloudland record, which came out in 2016. And so so uh, I I'm in and that record came out on Light in the Attic, like the subsidiary called Medical Records.
Hmm.
So I'm actually working on another record now that I've been telling them for like 2 years that I'm almost finished with. But
Yeah.
I am now actually almost finished with. So hopefully within a year, I mean, who knows how long it takes records to get made now. But hopefully the new Cloudland will come out, and then there's also a another collaboration I did with Sonic Boom, the guy I was just mentioning.
Yeah.
And we're actually about to record an LP for that band Catholic School that I'm
Hmm.
in. We're getting to record it at Sun Studios in Memphis, which should be interesting. But that's coming out on a label called uh, Circle Social Records, which I guess is run by this band from Portland called Softkill. That
Oh, yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
okay. Anyway, so Catholic School is on their label.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Now, did
yeah,
Cloudland? You toured with Flaming Lips? I read. How was that?
yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Cloudland has like gotten so many crazy opportunity. I mean, and I say Cloudland, but I mean, I guess it's really just me at this point. Yeah, that was awesome. I ended up doing a bunch of stuff, collaborating with them. Wayne and I recorded a record that never came out, like in like 2011 through like 2014. Um, Yeah, they're great. The last thing I guess I did with them was I went to Oklahoma City to like do this play this gallery installation that he has like this whole gallery called the Womb in Oklahoma City that we did this. There was like this huge like Fourth of July party that they had there that I did like all the music for.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
they're cool.
now, Catholic school. Is there anything that people can listen to now before this album's getting done? Like,
Yeah, the main guy John had recorded this EP that is like mind-blowingly good. It's on like Spotify and Apple Music and everything else. It's literally, I think it's self-titled, but it really is. When I heard it, I was like I actually wanted to be in the band, and then like 2 weeks later, I was in the band. So
yeah.
it worked out really well. I don't know. It's kind of like Echo and the Bunnymen. It's very catchy, but it's more punk, I guess, kind of.
Yeah,
It's
nice,
great. It's great.
nice.
Yeah.
With this Instagram being, I had gotten banned for a month because I posted like an anti-racist post like 10 months ago, and
Yeah.
I guess Instagram didn't like that, so they banned my live for a month, and so before I could go 4 hours with these things, but now they cut me off at like 1 hour. So
Oh, that's cool.
what
Yeah.
we'll do though is, because I always go through rapid fire at the end of these things, it'll
Yeah.
give me like a 2-minute warning in maybe like a couple minutes. We'll end this, and then I'll jump right back on. It just has to upload into Instagram, and then I'll
Okay.
jump back on in a couple minutes. But we can talk until I get the countdown. I mean,
Okay.
Instagram's a wild thing, you know what I mean? God forbid I'm
Yeah.
anti-racist, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I feel like I always hear of people getting kicked off social media for strange reasons.
Yeah, I mean, the things that I see on here are a lot worse than what I had posted, you know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
I posted something normal, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
it gets crazy. But like I said, we'll do that in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Speaking of the Red Scare and stuff like that, do you miss like being in a band that's like super screamy like that? Is like,
Yeah.
like, and I know
Yeah.
that, do you miss screaming like that?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I honestly feel like when I did that, I would just like go up there and kind of go into like a trance or something. So it's hard to really remember anything from doing that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's totally like a cathartic and really strange thing to do. But yeah, I could.
Oh, go ahead.
I could get it. No, I could get into doing that probably.
Yeah.
I think
always,
at my age, at this point, people would think it was really crazy. But
well, that's what I'm saying. I turned 50 just a little while ago, and I
yeah,
was in a couple screamy bands like that, and I think about doing it now, and I'm like, I really don't know if I have the lung capacity to do it anymore. You know what I mean? As much as I'd love to do it,
yeah,
and also I
yeah,
always think about going to, like, I'm into new screamy bands and stuff like that, and a lot of people are like, oh, you don't feel weird going into a basement with a bunch of teenagers or early 20s and being like, you look like their grandfather. It's like, I don't
yeah.
mind that personally, but is that something that kind of you think about sometimes?
Well, yeah. Well, so doing Catholic school is not. I mean, not exactly like that. But we actually played a show last night that ended up being like amazing. And when I got there, I was saying things to my girlfriend like, "Am I too old to do this?" Because I mean, it was at this kind of dive bar here, and I say that like in this place called the Lamplighter. That's really great. But it is the kind of place that like their live room feels like you're playing a basement show. Just like a really big bass. You know, there's like spare tires over against the wall, and just like I don't know, maybe